Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture number 2 of the NPTEL lecture series on charging infrastructure. In today's lecture or in present lecture we will study different building blocks of an EV charger. So before starting that, let us recap some of the understanding we have developed in the previous lecture. So we have seen different kinds of EVs which are present around us. That means we have understood something related to EV ecosystem, where we have primarily we focused on the powertrain systems, where we have actually the two kinds of powertrain system. We have a low voltage battery packs or batteries which goes between 48 to 72 volt, for which the charging system supporting 40 to 120 volt are present. And then second kind of powertrains having a high voltage batteries as the primary energy source, energy storage source in your battery powered electric vehicle, where the voltage levels will be somewhere between 350 volt to 500 volt, in that particular 350 volt to 500 volt voltage range. Now if you look very carefully, so since there are two kinds of the from the perspective of the batteries, there are two kinds of batteries which are there. So we have, when we go along in this particular course, you will see that there are two kinds of chargers which are focused on these two applications. Primarily from the perspective of a DC chargers, we will see that. Then the next thing we have understood different charging modes of an EV battery, and we have stabilized that the important or the most commonly used charging modes are basically CC followed by CV, which is constant current and constant voltage, with different sometimes people also use the multi-step constant current charging as well. So we have seen that we generally while charging they use CC followed by CV charging profiles, particularly for the lithium ion batteries, which are primarily commonly used in EVs at present. And then we have seen the necessity of an EV charger, like why the dedicated charging system or an charger is needed, primarily to basically meet the different charging profile of battery determined by the BMS of the battery pack, and at the same time providing sufficient protection, again safety perspective also. It also provides the data for metering purposes. So for different aspect, a dedicated systems are needed, and a dedicated EV charger system is needed for for charging your battery powered electric vehicle. So let us see what are the building blocks of an EV charger. So let us start with that. What are the different building blocks of an EV charger? Now if you look from the top level, these are again discussed from the top level. We will go in detail, in depth as we go along in this course. So the first and foremost thing is obviously a power conversion unit, primarily because you have an AC voltage source and the batteries are DC voltage source. So you need certain kind of power conversion taking place from which converts that AC into a DC with required protection and different grid connected requirements. So all those things will be there. So it needs a dedicated power conversion unit. It could be either inside the onto the vehicle itself or outside the vehicle itself. Depending upon that, the charges are defined as off-board chargers or on-board chargers. We will see as we go along what are these terminologies which are present. So we have a power conversion unit, and in that power conversion unit we have a AC-DC converter followed by an isolated DC-DC converter. Most of the charger have this kind of configuration, and these configurations will facilitate the required operation of a EV charger, as well as following the required charging profile which is been determined by the BMS of a battery pack. And then it has different filters like because the kind of current which has to go into the battery pack has to be ripple free. All those things will be determined by the filters. At the same time, there are filters which are there to confirm the EMI EMC requirements. So you have so there are some filters as well along with this power conversion unit as well. Then to make sure the power is converted safely, at the same time, it needs to also understand the status of vehicle as well as the charger at every instance of time. So there is a dedicated the charger need to have a dedicated communication port, or you can say communication channel, where the informations are exchanged between the charger and the EV, which is get plugged from the charger. Now the as we go along, you will see that there are different ports which are present onto the charger plugs, like proximity pilot, control pilot. In case of CAN, you have CAN high and CAN low, dedicated CAN low ports, or you can say that pins for communicating, for having a dedicated communication channel as well. And these two things will be the integral part of this, and these two things will be placed, or you can say that you will have a dedicated electric vehicle supply equipment, which is for the AC charger it will be an AC electric vehicle supply equipment. If it is DC charger, it will be a DC electric vehicle supply equipment. Now what is an electric vehicle supply equipment? So electric vehicle supply equipment is nothing but equipment which is kept in between the grid and the vehicle, and it performs all the functionality. For AC VSC it performs safety related things. It will do metering, for metering purposes, exchanging information, all those perspective. This particular EVSC will be there, and you can say indirectly that these two things sometimes will be kept inside that EVSC, or you can say that it is a system which is placed between the grid and the EV. And then you have something called a dedicated connector, which is connected between the EVSCs and your vehicle. So you have a dedicated connectors as well as a cable. So if you have a EVSC, then you have a charging plug coming out of that EVSC connected through a cable. Again, these the form factors of the charging plug, as well as these charging plugs will be going into the vehicle inlet connector which is present in an electric vehicle. So these two form factors of this plug and the inlet connector has to match with each other. At the same time, the cable also need to have a required dimensions, like the length of the cable, which generally comes in the range of 5 meter, 7.5 meter or 10 meter. Again, so these are also an important aspect, because if let's say if someone is building a EV charger, then this connectors has to be such connector which is being accepted by different vehicle manufacturer. So that connectors, the form factors of the connector, the size, shape, all those things must match with the vehicle inlet connector. So that thing also have to be taken care very precisely, it has to be taken care. At the same time, the kind of cables need to be used, the length of cables, all those things are also very necessary when you are designing or when you are building an EV charger. So this will be the building blocks of an EV charger. Now let us see specifically what are there in an AC EV charger. Let us say if you are going to a charging station, you have a AC charger, you have a DC charger, and let us say you plugged your vehicle with the AC charger. So what are things are present inside the AC charger? Let us see that aspect. So if we look carefully, since it is an AC EV charger, we require an AC EVSC, which is an AC electric vehicle supply equipment. Now if we look very carefully, this AC EVSC system, why it is called an AC EVSC system? Because why it is called an AC charger which has AC EVSC, it is because you are directly putting that AC directly into your vehicle, and all the power conversion will be taking place inside the vehicle. So, let us see what are things are there in an AC VSC. Again you will see that all those building blocks what we have discussed in the previous slide, those building blocks will be either kept will be kept somewhere in that AC charger system or in any charger system. So, let us see first how what are the things which are present in an AC charger. So, if you look very carefully, when you are doing an AC EV charging, what you have is you have a something called AC EVSE, which is AC electric vehicle supply equipment. Now, in AC EVSE you have input coming from the grid. This could be either single phase or 3 phase depending upon the amount of the power level of this AC charger. And this single phase and 3 phase, generally if you look I mean generally the power level for this AC chargers which are present is somewhere between 2 kilowatt to 22 kilowatt generally. So, generally you will be using either a single phase or a 3 phase connection directly from the grid. And if you look very carefully in the AC VSC, since it is an AC VSC, the output of this will also be in AC, will also be in AC. So, here you have the AC. And if you look very carefully inside the AC VSC, the things what you have is, you have the first important things nothing but a safety interlocks or safety devices, which are nothing but, if I write what are the things which are there in safety, you have contactors, you have relays to basically take action in case there is some fault or in case the controller in the charger demands to cut off or to connect the input to the output. And you have again as I mentioned controller, so you have one controller also present. Sometimes this is also called as the supply equipment communication controller, or sometimes also called as a charger controller as well. So, you have a dedicated controller which will be placed in an EVSE, and you have sensors installed in that EVSE. Now, those sensors are primarily if I write down the sensors which are present, mostly voltage sensor and current sensor. So, it senses the input, it senses the voltages of phases, as well as it also measures the amount of current which is been taken out of that AC EVSE. And now if you see, so this output of this particular thing is an AC which actually goes directly into the vehicle. So, directly in case of AC charger you are plugging directly AC into your vehicle, and on the vehicle what you have is, you have after the AC input, what you have is, since your batteries are DC, so you need to convert that AC into DC. So, what you have is, you have an rectifier. Now, this particular rectifier converts AC into a DC, and this DC will be fed to a isolated DC-DC converter, which actually gives output in the form of controlled DC. Now, why you need to have the control DC? If you have to follow certain charging profile, then you need to operate your DC-DC converter in such a manner that that particular charging profile is obtained. At the same time, you have isolation such that there is isolation between the battery to which it is been connected and to the AC input. Then after that, what you have is, let me uniformly define the arrows. So, this will be in this manner. So, here you have a DC and then you have the output which is the kind of DC output you want at its output. This particular isolated DC-DC converter can be operated to give you that. And then this output DC which is in controlled manner, you can pass it through a protective devices. Again, for the protection, protective devices in the form of your contactors or relays one can put, and then after that this protected device it will goes into the EV battery. So, you have the desired DC voltage which will be coming over here and which will be going into the EV battery and which will be used to charge the EV battery. Again, you can ensure CC or CV charging by appropriate operation of this isolated DC-DC converter. And this EV batteries, once it is been there, so then this EV batteries will be monitored by the BMS, which is nothing but a battery management system which continuously monitors voltage, current, temperature of battery cells. I mean, they could either monitor individual battery cell in a battery pack or some number of battery cells in a battery pack. So, they will be continuously monitoring the voltage, current which is getting injected into this one and how much amount of current. Sometimes current are optional, they also measure just the voltage and temperature. It all depends upon the kind of BMS one is using. Now, this BMS, depending upon the amount of current which is going into the battery or the voltage which is being imposed upon the battery bank, it decide what will be the to what level or whether the particular output of the DC converter is following the particular charging profile or not, and then it will communicate with the controller, which is another controller which is nothing but a controller which actually controls duty ratios or phase shifts of this switches, power electronic switches which are used in this rectifier and isolated DC-DC converter, such that to make sure that it defines the references or defines what kind of voltage it need to have at the output of a isolated DC-DC converter, and accordingly this DC-DC converter and rectifier will operate in such a manner that the required DC or DC voltage will be obtained at its output. So, this is the BMS which will determine what will be the output which will be coming at the output of the power conversion unit, and this battery management system will be also communicating with the controller which is present inside the AC VSC via a dedicated communication channel, or you can say a dedicated communication pin which is present in a connector which gets plugged into the EV. So, you have a dedicated communication channel or port you can say, and it will be communicating with the AC VSC, I mean, to define whether the EV is ready to accept the charge or not, and also whether the charger is ready to charge the vehicle or not. All those information will be exchanged, different status will also be exchanged between the BMS and the AC VSC, and this AC VSC will also be communicating with the CMS, which is nothing but a central management system. From charging station service provider. Now, this is to actually do a lot of metering to do a lot of metering purposes, to understand the status of the charging station or the AC VSC which is being installed in the charging station. So, they will also do a communication between the CMS and the controller of an EVSC. So, in total if you see the building block of an AC VSC, the AC VSC comprises of a dedicated controller, different sensors for metering, for providing information related to metering, as well as for protection, and safety interlocks to take required action whenever there is any fault, or whenever the vehicle demands that now they do not want the charge to be the battery is fully charged and they do not require any charging. Now, if you look very carefully in the entire system, the between the vehicle and the AC VSC, it's the vehicle, means you can say that BMS of the vehicle, it's the BMS who is the master. It tells what kind of voltage it needs at the output of the isolated DC-DC converter, or it tells it continuously monitoring the battery status and tell whether the battery is in safe operate, whether the charge is safe or not. All those information is this the BMS which will be communicating it with the controller of this power conversion unit, and at the same time it will also be communicating with the AC VSC, and it is the BMS which tells to AC VSC that whether the battery is ready to accept the charge or not. And if you look very carefully, this particular in AC charger, the entire power conversion is taking place inside the vehicle itself. That means the power conversion unit, which is this, is placed onto the vehicle, and thus this particular this particular charger, or when the AC charger gets plugged in, you use, or this power conversion unit is you use this power conversion unit on which is placed onto the vehicle, and this power conversion unit is sometimes also called as the on-board charger, where the power conversion is taking place onto the vehicle and you are directly plugging AC into your vehicle. So, that is why in case of AC charger, you have an AC VSC which is just doing. So, AC VSC is actually performing, if you see, first is nothing but it is performing metering operation. I mean, it provides information for metering purposes. It does monitoring whether keep on monitoring whether the EV is ready or not, or when to turn off, when to engage, when not to engage, or I mean when to keep the AC at its output. All those things will be, so AC VSC will keep on monitoring that, will keep on taking information from the BMS and accordingly decide whether to keep the output on or not. And the third important thing, it takes care of safety. That means in case of some problem happening in the vehicle, the BMS will respond to controller of the AC VSC, and AC VSC will then control the safety interlocks to basically open up to basically disengage between the grid and the output, and then the output does not have any AC at its output. So, the AC VSC, it does not do any power conversion, but it keeps on monitoring the status of the amount of power which is going into the into your vehicle, and thus helps in performing metering, monitoring and safety functionalities. While on the other hand, you have an onboard charger, sometimes abbreviated as OBC as well, onboard charger, where actually your power conversion is taking place, and which converts an AC voltage into a DC voltage, which is being used to charge the EV batteries. And this onboard charger is controlled by its own controller, which is again gets input from the BMS to understand what kind of voltages and currents are needed at the output. So, this is the entire building block of an AC EV charger, where you can see that we have just an AC EVSC. Whenever we have an AC EV charger, we have an AC EVSC. The input is a grid, output is also an AC which get directly plugged into your vehicle, and inside your vehicle it's the onboard charger where the actual power conversion, that means conversion from AC to DC, is taken place. So, with this I end this lecture. Thank you for patiently listening to this.